I thought the game was a great example of the triangle. I mean, it couldn't have been a more perfect example. Let's start with our defense. I mean, the effort they put out there tonight, only giving up 28 points, made so many critical plays to get them off the field, and really proud of those guys. Go to the offense, their defensive coordinator did a really good job of just trying to take our receivers away from us, played a lot of coverage, and they just run the football. We rushed for 213 yards tonight. Again, we finished the game with the ball in our hands when everybody in the building knows we're going to run the football, and that's impressive now, especially with the injuries we've had up front. We lost Mekhi Hart again. We lost Bentley for a moment. We lost KD for a moment. We lost T. Haynes for a moment. Frankie just keeps getting moved around everywhere. Walker Beatty's out there. It's just unbelievable what those guys have gone through up front. And we still, finish the game with the ball in our hand. That's hard to do. I don't care if you're in JV football, NFL, college, that's just hard to do. Then let's go to special teams. The field goal that Sackett hit right before halftime was such a huge play. In our special teams meetings, I told them Ty's a really good coach. Those guys did a great job at Western Kentucky. I knew they were going to bunt kick. I just had it in my soul. I knew it. And I had the right guy there, Kyle Wakefield. I mean, he went and did like he did all week at practice. And that was a huge play. And then the play Cephas made on 4th and 2 to stretch out. A champion has the ability to play one play longer than his opponent. And that's how you win championships. You can't win everybody wants to talk about those receivers and the quarterback, and I love them too. I hope we keep them for a whole another year. But you win championships by being great on defense and running the football. And when we did that tonight. Questions?
Jeff, you hold Western Kentucky to 28 points. That's well below their season average. How did the defense do that tonight?
You got to start with Coach Lepp. I mean, he's been hearing all those questions about PFF and tackling and how we're not any good on defense, and we're competitors, right? We don't want any of you guys to think we don't do a good job. So our defense had a strong task because again they played another great offense, and I would challenge anybody that does all those stats to go see who's played the offenses we played. I mean, I don't know that there's a school in the country that's played the quality of offense that our defense had to go against. So. Let me play 6 guys that aren't very good, and we'll pass some stats up on defense. But it's hard to do it when you're playing people that are that good. In saying that, we had some things we had to clean up, right? And we did. We didn't turn anybody loose in the back. We matched up every time. We fell down one time. They made some unbelievable plays too. Now but we were physical. We got after him, and it was a really well played game. I mean, it reminded me of an NFL football game of just how clean it was, how the possessions were just like back and forth. I mean, I just thought it was a really good football game.
Jeff, given the battles that you had with this team last year, how important was it to get this one in terms of the scope of trying to win the conference championship again?
Well, obviously they're all important, but at home, I think that Houston lost. If you think about it, the exact same thing happened again. We had a chance to knock them out right before the last play of the third quarter. And we didn't do it. We did not execute 4th down and 1. And I literally got my team and on the headsets, I said, man, here we go. It's Houston all over again. We're going to see how much we've improved. And our defense has really improved since that Houston game. And our offense, it's unfortunate the fumble there. We had a really great call and just got a 1st down. And they did a good job of stripping it out. So really, really happy for my kids. It's just been a struggle all year. We just can't get healthy. And we just keep finding a way to stay in this thing. And I keep thinking we're going to get them all back at some point. And, I get it, it's football, but our O-line has just been a mess, and it just continues to be that way.
Raise your hands for questions.
Obviously, having faced this offense before last year, what were some things you did differently on defense to try to slow them down? How did you guys adjust compared to those matchups?
We just tried to, the very first time we played them, we went a lot of zone, just 3 safeties, and then they just ran the ball right up us. This year, I could tell they were committed to run to begin with. That they were committed to run the football. I know it's all about, everybody talks about their passing game. They've gotten way better at running GT, which is one of our plays, GY, inside zone, power, quarterback power. They really are committed. I'm very impressed with Coach Helton and his offensive coordinator, Ben. I know Lee went to Texas Tech, and Ben was on that staff and just got moved up. And he's a good human being. He does a good job coaching those kids. So Coach Leb and our defense had their work cut out for them. They're very clean. They know what they're doing. I mean, the quarterback gets them in every play correctly. You got to watch two really good offenses, and I thought two defensive coordinators that did a fantastic job on both sides of the ball tonight, changing up some stuff that neither side had seen before.
Jeff, on your offense, you had several offensive linemen go down throughout the course of the game, but you guys still had your best rushing performance. What led to that production today?
A lot of that was just Frank reading it out and being patient. All those RPOs, they were dropping. If you were watching the game, you could see them rushing 3 and dropping 8, way more than they ever have before. And I think they wanted to see if we could stay patient. Could we drive the ball down the field? And we did. And they finally, after the onside kick, they got a little greedy. And Frank did a great job throwing that glance route. Then we got down there and got the fade route to JT, which was a big play in the game as well.
Jeff, you were very enthusiastic about the run game after Middle Tennessee, and it obviously went up even another notch today. What was the difference to take that to the next level for your guys?
We were committed to doing it. And I know that's always, it's easy for a coach to keep saying it if it never shows up. I mean, that's hypocrisy, right? We're committed to doing it. We know to win a championship, we got to do it. And nobody loves to throw it more than I do. I mean, trust me, I love slinging around. But you got to play big boy ball to win championships, and that's what we want to do. We want to win. We want to win it all, right? We want to win them. We want to win the thing. And when I was younger and had hair, we'd throw it 60 times a game and couldn't stop people, and we'd outscore people and not win many championships. And I finally lost my hair and got a lot of wrinkles, and just decided, the way to win is you got to be great on defense first, and you got to be committed to running it. And even like the pass we threw to complete for the win, that's basically a run. I mean, and dang, when I saw Cephas fall down, we ran in there and faked like we were going across and stopped and went right back out. And then I saw him fall, and I'm like, boy, JJ and Greg are fixing to wear me out for giving these guys the ball back in midfield with a 3-point lead. But when I saw we had it, I was like, man, JJ and Greg are going to be nice to me tonight. When Dr. Campos hired me, I remember telling her, I said, I'm going to make this very simple. When it works, it's going to be good. And when it doesn't work, it's going to be bad. There's just no other way around it, right? Whether it's a good call or not. That was a great call tonight. That was a great call. If we don't execute it, it's still the right call, right? But sometimes you don't get treated that way when it doesn't work.
But we love going for it on 4th down.
Well, thank y'all. I'm glad to hear that. I'm going to remember that next time. I was really mad at myself. I really was mad at myself on the 4th and 1 call. I should have called timeout and got a better call. That I'm disappointed in myself. I thought the game was going to come down to the very end. I was trying to pack my timeouts. So, I did call timeout on the next one to make sure we got our thoughts good. And, it's a game. You got to make decisions really quick. And when you let kids down as an adult, you feel terrible, right? So I'm really glad my kid's going to win.
That play is maybe a good example of you guys had it seemed like a few chances in the 3rd and 4th quarter there to really stretch it out and potentially put them away, and they just kept hanging around. What was kind of the vibe or the atmosphere like on the sideline as the game was unfolding down the stretch?
Our kids knew. This defensive coordinator they hired over there has done a really good job. We had charted him all the way back before he came here, and he's true to who he is. His kids do what they do. That's why they play good on defense. They're very improved on defense. Think about last year. Probably you never felt like, we were really good on defense last year, but we never thought anybody's going to get stopped. Tonight, you were like halfway going, it's like NFL football out here. They actually stop each other occasionally and score some too. It just seemed like an NFL game. I tried to watch much of that NFL ball, but when my boy gets paid to do it, I'm a big Houdat fan, so I watch a lot of Saints games, sadly, lately.
Jeff, you guys are 4-2 at the midway point of the regular season. How would you just assess where your team is at overall at this point of the season?
We're 2-0. We're 2-0. Them first 4 just preparing us. We learned a lot about ourselves. It forced us to clean some things up. The great thing about playing a good opponent again, we're going to get better again from this video. They still exploited us on a couple of things, right? Our kickoff, man, what a great job by Sackett getting that thing in the end zone for us. We covered one great kick, and then we didn't, right? And then we ran a freaking field return, and it's going to be a touchdown, I think. And my boy Chris Carpenter, I'm going to talk to him. I think if he keeps pressing it out there, he might have house called him. But us East Texas kids, we're knuckleheads. We're pretty stubborn people, so he's probably right. We'll see.
Jeff, you guys were down 2 guys in the defensive line coming into the game today and then lost another one. How are you feeling about that unit and the depth going forward?
Yeah, we're down to 6 right now. Started the year with 11, so we might have to move Walker back. I don't know. We're out of the O-lineman too. It depends on when Ernesto's back. Zach's hurt pretty severely. That's probably going to be a while. Brandon Matterson's hurt severely. That's going to be a while. And Joe Evans should be back pretty quick. So I imagine Joe will be day-to-day. Probably Causey and Matterson might be done for the year.
Anything else for Coach Traylor? All right, thanks. We'll get the players in the short.
Thank y'all very much. God bless. Bears up 2-0, baby.
Thanks, Jeff.
We can go.